And today another review by Eucep, and well, to start off the year good and to do a bit of a homage to the new perfect grade, the Strike Freedom, I'm going to go very large. Very, very large indeed. Yeah, nice crotch shot. We're going to go and look at the Freedom Gundam, an old 1/60th scale kit, which is, in my opinion, truly epic. It's one of my oldest kits, and well, it's a simple kit. It's pretty much a no grade, despite its size. There are some intricate parts to it, but other parts are, well, frankly put, below high grade standards. But then again, yeah, it's an older kit and it can be forgiven. And say what you want, but there are few kits which can Darth Maul it up as well as this one can. Because yes, that are both his beam sabers connected together. I'm going to go look at the entire kit from top to bottom, and well, there you'll have a comparison with the new perfect grade. So let's start off with his accessories, just to get them out of the way. Yes, the beam sabers are actually packed in. As you can see, there's a little pack here. There's one in each side. You do need something sharp, small, to wedge them out once you've stored them. But otherwise, just rotate. It's a little ball socket. Keeping this in frame is a bit hard because these things are very unwieldy. But just fold this in. And it's smooth again. As you can see, yeah, this isn't the most sturdy connector ever. You pretty much pull it out, and this is one of the small pieces which you can easily lose, so be careful of it. Instead, you have two end caps which you can put on them. You can only put them on one way, so no real mucking around there, and you'll end up with normal beam sabers, which still are comparably very, very large. Let's see if I can get this properly into frame against my own arm. So yeah, these things are gigantic. You can take off, of course, the beams, which are packed in fairly well because these are fairly large packs, and they can actually store on his hips, but on mine they are fairly loose, so yeah, that's the idea, and they're supposed to click in a bit better, but on mine they're fairly loose, so I'm not even going to bother applying them. That would be a waste of time. He has more loose weaponry, yeah, so let's put him back for the time being. So this guy takes up a lot of space. Next up, a shield, very basic looking. Yeah, not too special, nicely detailed, but for example, lacking in details like just a simple clear piece here would have been nice. Altogether, I don't actually recall. There actually, yes, I think for the head there was a clear piece, and that's about it. It's been really about, I think, 10 years ago that I built this one, so the inside of the shield, yeah, I started some panel lining but never finished it. Because, frankly put, I just don't like this shield. It has a gun hole which is completely unusable. he holds onto it with the hand normally. You can slide this up and down, but you pretty much only use it in one position. I don't know why you can actually slide it, because it has absolutely no use, this bigger slide. And in the arm you can get a pack, which I'll show later on, which packs into here. I'm not going to put this on because pretty much this shield is, well, it's a nice accessory and it's pretty much a default piece of equipment for a Gundam. This is one of those meh parts. And I think this one is somewhat better. And is also a bit more familiar looking if you're going to work on the perfect grade, because this looks fairly much alike. One of the other few clear parts here for the lens, but otherwise nothing too spectacular actually at all. Has the same pegging system as the beam saber handles have. There's actually a little piece which you can press out. As you can see, it takes some fiddling, and this pegs into the hand quite well, so he can hold on to it. You can let him dual wield it, but despite his articulation, it doesn't really work for this one. At one side, yeah, this I think is very unsightly. This is where a kid like this really suffers. It's this gigantic peg on this side, which is meant so you can store it on his back, but I don't do that because it doesn't look good either way. So yeah, his gun isn't the best either. But the Gundam itself, well, that's another matter entirely. I might end up just disassembling some parts to show off what it can do, because it's so large and I really have trouble using my tripod and keeping it completely inside. So let's start off by removing his backpack. One of the few parts which actually on purpose can be removed. And yeah, they're fairly large, so completely spread out. But you can also put them in a more calm, not in use way, like this. Or for his attack mode, which he also has in his wings, fold these back. And then there are these big cannons hidden within, which you can move over on both sides. Yeah, this kit is very hard to keep in focus, even while using just loose parts. There's also another little issue. These dark blue pits, they've been slid over this part, but they don't really hold on that well. But as you can see, there is plenty of flash left on this one, because this kit I just cut off and never sanded anything. Yeah, I should have pretty much should disassemble him and try again to really fix him up. But this is the way you want the backpack for attack mode. One thing which I find also lacking here, there are actually clear parts in here, but why didn't they actually include something with a sticker and a clear part for in here? That's too bad. Let's put that to the side and let's get him out. Right, for this, yes, his waist rotates but is limited due to the skirt. Let's pull them apart so I can review him more easily. The head is on a single ball joint, nothing too spectacular there. At least it's not very hampered. I actually painted up the eyes very long ago, and it still looks good, so fairly pleased there. At least I think I painted it up. Yes, it's painted up. Forehead camera, also clear piece. There's actually some detailing in that forehead piece, but I don't think my camera can pick it up, all that detail in it. He has an opening cockpit hatch, which is very simple. Just pull it down and done. A little pilot in there. I think there was also a standing pilot for him, and it's probably somewhere in a box, but yeah, unlikely to find, because I've got quite a few of these little pilots, and yeah, where I've stashed them. Yeah, even there you can see I didn't really trim off the plastic of his legs or anything. This is really at the beginning of my building of Gundam time. It was like the third kit I got, and it was like, oh yeah, I want to sell off some of my spare kits. Do you want one? Yeah, sure. How much? Oh, that one looks nice. How much? Yeah, 40 gulden. The old currency which we had here. About 30 euros that I actually paid for this kit. Yeah, 30 euros just for this giant. So I got very lucky. Alright, enough babbling. The shoulder. This part is separate and rotates on that shoulder part. As long as the backpack isn't on, it rotates freely. There is some side-to-side movement, but not much. Up and down, tiny bit, but not much. Primarily it's rotation and the sideways motion of the arm itself, which can go this far, and then the shoulder piece actually hampers it. Rotation with the upper arm, and it's actually surprisingly free despite this little piece here. There's only a single axial joint in the elbow itself. Each arm, and this is where I refer to with the shield, there's this little piece which you can take off, and then there's a pack in here. Now there is an actual issue here with this pack part. This gray part over it is all that keeps that pack in place, and once you remove the shield, pretty much nearly always you'll pull out this entire piece. That's also one of the weaknesses of this kit. But at least you can cover it up properly. But yeah, this is once again one of those small parts which you can easily lose, so be careful with it. The arm ends with a simple ball joint, no extra movement in the wrist or anything, just a simple ball joint which you can't really move in and out as with newer kits. It's just there. Fairly free rotation, and that's it for the wrist. The hands themselves, yeah, here you can see the slit for the weapons, and each finger has some decent articulation. The thumb is a single ball joint which can move under the waist and on the side. And yeah, another disappointment, a hollow finger. Each of the other fingers, when assembling, just like the new perfect grade, be aware that there are, well, 4 different sizes. So just build them one by one if you ever get a hold of this kit. Just a single joint beyond the ball joint in each finger. So, and then the ball joints, of course. So yeah. Nothing there. So yeah, good articulation for the fingers. It's better than most of the smaller kits, but the newer perfect grades, they even have more digits and are a bit sturdier. some of these fingers are fairly floppy and loose. I'm not sure if that's just due to time or whatever, but yeah. Let's just say it's very good that he has his pegs because he can't hold onto anything. Right, so let's put aside this part and let's go on to his legs. He has side skirts, which are also weapons, which I'll show in a moment. They move once you have his top part removed fairly freely, but normally you can't actually move them more than this before they clash with the robot itself. The front skirts are on ball joints and move fairly freely. The hips are on ball joints. Nothing special there, no extra movement, no shifting of the position. It's just a simple ball joint, that's it. There is a double joint at least in the knee, but it's limited to about this far. Still not too bad. And at least everything in his leg is very sturdy, very well clamped on. You need force to actually move him. So yeah, that saves a lot of hassle with him collapsing or anything like that. Let's move down a bit. His ankle guards, they swivel, nothing more. And his feet are on gigantic ball joints as well, but otherwise have no movement at all. So move backwards, forwards, sideways. Slight rotation, but the ankle guard really limits the movement there. Right, back up. And let's show off his second part of his weapon system. I'm not sure what it's called, but at least one thing I know for sure, it's damn epic. Unlike the perfect grade, no actual, if you move on one part, the other part moves up as well. So I recall there actually being something in there to hold it in place, but I'm not sure. And then this front part, it's a double hinge. It can be a bit fiddly to get it in place, but once it is in place, yeah, this guy is big on every damn manner you can imagine. Then there is a little handle, which takes a lot of fiddling to actually get out, which you can hold on to, but that in general doesn't look too incredibly good if he holds onto it. At least his hands are actually a bit too big for these handles. They should have been bigger so he can really hold onto them. So I prefer to leave them in there. Just fold it all out. Then let's reassemble him and I'll give a final view of him. Completely weaponed up. Backpack clicks on. And reconnect his waist. Actually, I believe I actually should move it more like this. Yeah, and then he becomes back heavy. So I'm going to prop him against the wall as much as possible. Yeah, he's somewhat fiddly, and to display him, yeah. Right, yes. I'm not sure what to call this. The macros attack, because of the 4 beams, but yeah, I've never seen the series, so I can't really say. His head actually gets hampered a lot if you have the wings in that position. That's probably, yeah, there are some issues, and the wings collide with the back part of these big cannons at the hips. Oh well. Yeah, this is already turning into a near 20-minute review. so I'm going to cut it short here. I'm just going to say this is a very epic looking kit with some problems, but very worthwhile your time. I had a lot of fun. That's something which really stands strong in my memory. When I built this kit originally, I had no idea about most of the Gundam series. I didn't know what an RX-78-2 was. I just knew it was a giant robot which looked cool, and I needed to build myself. Yeah, this was Eucep. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.